Hello everyone, this is Yolanda from the Upcast channel, and today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this cute little summer hat for a baby. It will fit about maybe up to a year old, and it's done all just a simple single crochet, but it's so nice because it has a little brim, so it's not too big, so it's perfect for little boys. And then you can also embellish it with flowers, with whatever you want to do. I did have the little bird that I did last week, so you could do it that way. Anywhere, you could just do it just plain. I hope you'll enjoy this tutorial. Be sure to hit the like button, and let's get the party started. Okay everyone, to begin we're just going to get your, I'm using a size J hook, which is a number 10, and I'm going to begin by doing the magic circle. I'm using the cotton yarn, medium weight, but you can use any, this is Bernat, but you can use any brand that you have available that you like to work with. So here we're just going to start with the magic circle, or the disappearing circle. You make your little loop, and then you're going to go underneath here. I'm going to grab my yarn, make my stitch there. Okay. Sorry guys, the dog is going nuts there. So here, now in here, I'm going to chain two. Excuse me. I'm going to go ahead, not chain two, I'm sorry. Here I'm going to make 6 single crochets into the circle. So here I'm just going to go in, come back up, and then do here 1 single crochet, and we're going to be working in rounds, so we're not going to be connecting our row. Okay, so it's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Normally I would say you're gonna slip stitch or whatever we're gonna do, but here we're just gonna start working our next row. Let me count 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me see, did I do 6 here? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so once you do your 6, you're going to pull your circle shut like that, and now we're going to start working in rounds. Okay, so here I'm going to be using a stitch marker. You could use a piece of yarn, a bobby pin, whatever you have. I'm going to be using the actual stitch marker here, and then is my first single crochet there. I'm going to do two single crochets, and the reason why this one is so good for keeping out the sun is because it's single crocheted. I haven't tried doing it with a half double crochet, or this with half double crochet, or the double crochet for this one, but this one I've just been doing with the single crochet. So here I'm going to put my stitch marker into that first one there, and then you're going to continue doing that 2 single crochets in each round here, so that we're going to end up with 12 single crochets. Okay, 1, oops, here 2, and just do 2 in each one. I have my arms rested on this table, and they're kind of tough here. Get some more yarn. 2 single crochets in the next, so we're just going to continue that. Here's our last one here, so 2 single crochets, 1, 2. Okay, now in round 3, because remember we're working in rounds, not in rows. Here on this next stitch, we're going to do 2 single crochets in the first stitch, and and then 1 single crochet on the next stitch. So then that way you'll have a total of 18 single crochets. In the first one, we're going to do 1, 2. I'm going to put my stitch marker back in there, and the next stitch I'm just going to do 1 single crochet, and you're going to repeat this pattern all the way around. The next one you have 2 single crochets, and the stitch after that you have 1. Okay, so I want you to continue that pattern all the way around. Okay, now I've done round 3. I'm coming to round 4. In this one, we're going to do our pattern will be 2 single crochets in the first stitch, and then we're going to do a single crochet in the next 2. So then at the end of the round, you should have 24 single crochets. I'm going to put my stitch marker again. It's really easy to get lost when you're working in rounds because there's nothing to differentiate where you're working. And here you're going to do 1 single crochet and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And you're going to repeat that around. The next one, now you're going to have 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 2, 1, and then 1. So you're going to go ahead and repeat this all the way around, and then we'll come back and work for our next on round 5. So here's 1, 2, in the next stitch, and then the next one, the next 2 have 1 each. 1 and 1. And this hat is so perfect for keeping the sun, your baby safe from the sun. So go ahead and repeat that all the way around. Okay, so now I'm going to come to round 5. Remember when you first started it was 6 rounds. The next one was 12. The third one was 18. We just finished the 4th, which was 24. Now here in round 5, we're going to repeat the same thing we've been doing. The first stitch of your pattern is always going to have 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. I'm going to put back my stitch marker here before I forget. And then now you're going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 3. So here is 1 single crochet, then 2 single crochet, and 3. You're going to repeat this pattern all the way around, and when you finish round 5 you should have 30 single crochets. So here, my next stitch, I'm doing 2 single crochets, and then in the next 3 I'm going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. 1, here's 2, and 3. And adding the stitches, the increases gradually will give you a softer little hat. So go ahead and repeat that all the way around. Your next stitch, then remember your pattern is 2 single crochets in the first stitch and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 3. Then you repeat it again, 2 single crochets, 1 in each of the next 3. So go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back and we'll work on round 6. Okay, now we're going to start round 6. And so this last round you should have 30 single crochets. Round 6 once again begins with 2 single crochets in the first stitch, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. So it's just 1, 2, 3, 4. Those would have 1 single crochet. Remember to use your stitch marker. There goes my crazy little Lilo. 1, 2. So that's 2 single crochets in the first stitch, and then 1 in each of the next 1 single crochet in each of the next 4. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and now when you do that, that's your pattern, so that repeats all the way around. So my next stitch here will have 2 single crochets, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course you can make this hat in any kind of yarn, but since I'm intending this to be worn as a little summer hat, it'll probably get wet and be laundered more like when you go into the little kiddie pools or the beach or park. So go ahead and repeat this all the way around. You can do this, of course, with, like I said, any yarn as long as it's a medium weight. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat my pattern. 2 double crochets in the first stitch, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. And at the end of this round, you should have 36 single crochets. Okay, to go on to round 7 here, we're going to do in our first stitch, we're going to have 2 single crochets, and then we're going to have 1 single crochet in each of the next 3. Okay, and when you finish the round, you should have 45 single crochets. So that pattern is going to repeat all the way around. So here I do, my first one is going to have 1 and 2. So here I'm going to put my stitch marker on the first one that I did. Okay. And now I'm going to have a single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches for a total of 45 single crochets all the way around. So here's 1, guys, 1, 2, and 3. So here it repeats again, 2 single crochets in the next stitch. 1, 2, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 3. There's 1 single crochet, 2, and 3. So they're going to repeat that pattern all the way around, and you're going to have a total of 45 single crochets. Okay, for round 8, I'm going to do 2 single crochets in the first stitch and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches, and you should have 54 single crochets total for this round. So here I'm going to go ahead and do 2, 1, 2, put my stitch marker back in my first one, and now here 1 single crochet in each of the next 4. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we repeat that same pattern or sequence all the way around. So here's once again 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 4. Here's 1, there, 2, 3, and 4. So I want you to repeat that all the way around, and you'll have a total of 54 stitches in this round. Okay, we're moving on to round 9. So here we're going to start with 2 single crochets. This is the pattern for our first stitch. So here's 1 and 2. Let me put my stitch marker back in there. And now here we're going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. So here is 1, excuse me, lost that there, 1, wow, 1, third time's a charm, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is going to repeat all the way around, and you're going to have a total of 63 single crochets here. So the next round, the next stitch again would have 2 single crochets, and then each of the next 5 stitches would have 1 single crochet. Here's 1, pull some yarn out here, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So go ahead and repeat that all the way around. Your first stitch would have 2 single crochets and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 5, and you repeat that all the way around for a total of 63 single crochets. Okay, so here I'm going to begin on round 10, and I'm going to do a decrease in my first 2 stitches. So here I'm going to go in, don't pull through yet, and then go into my next single crochet. There'll be 3 loops, and I'm going to pull through all 3. Now here I'm going to put my stitch marker again, and now what you're going to do now, you're going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 19 stitches, and then we repeat with a single single crochet decrease over the next 2, and then work that all the way to the end. So here I'm just going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 19 stitches. So here's 1, 2. So go ahead and do your 19 single crochets. Okay, I've done my 19 single crochets, so I'm going to repeat the same pattern here. I'm going to decrease over the next 2, go in and pull out, go into my next chain, my next stitch. Now I'm going to have 3, go through all 3. So that's my decrease, and then once again, 1 single crochet in each of the next 19 stitches. 2, 3. So go ahead and repeat that same pattern all the way around. When you finish, you should have 16 single crochets. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat this all the way around. Okay, now for rows 11 through 21, you're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and then just continue working until you have 21 rounds. Make sure you move your needle up, your stitch marker up to keep track. And so here, there's no more increase or decreases. So for the next rounds from 11 to 21, 1 single crochet in each stitch. Okay, I work kind of awkwardly holding the camera in front of me, the tripod, so it's kind of hard to get to the stitches here. So here, I'm just going to do 1 single crochet all the way around, in each stitch all the way around, until I get to round 21. Then we will come back and work on our last few rows, okay, few rounds. So go ahead and just work 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around, and continue working. We're working in rounds, so there's no joining here. When you get here to the end of your 11th round, then just start in your 12th, continue around until you have 21 rounds. Okay, I finished my 21 rounds. So here now for round 22, we are going to be working 1 single crochet, but only in the back loops. So here what I'm going to do, if you could see here, I chained the stitch here. There's a front loop and the back loop. I want to do 1 row of 1 single crochet in each one, but only in the back loop. So you're just going to go into the back loop only, leave the front loop free, go there, and then you're going to do your single crochet. And you can see that it's only through the back. Go to the next one, do the same thing, 1 single crochet only to the back. Let me try to get my stitch marker here. So here it's just, that's all you're going to do for this round, round 22. 1 single crochet through the back loop only. So here I'm only getting, see, the front one is free, just doing only the back loop. I want you to go all the way around, 1 single crochet in each back loop only. So go ahead and do that, and we'll come back and go on to the finishing touches. Okay, for round 23, I'm going to do 2 single crochets in the first stitch, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches, but I'm going to go through the entire chain. So here, let me move my stitch marker, I'm going to do 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. I'm going to put back my stitch marker. Sorry guys if you could hear that, that's my dog. And 1 single crochet in each of the next 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'm going to repeat that all the way around. Okay? So now here I'm going to do 2 single crochets. Let me get some yarn here. Oops. Stop. I'm sorry guys, that's the dog. So here I'm going to do 2 single crochets. Once again repeating this. And then 1 single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I want you to repeat that all the way around. 2 single crochets then in the first stitch, then 1 single crochet in the following 5 stitches, and you will repeat that all the way around. So here, once again, I would do 2 single crochets followed by 1 single crochet in the next 5. I'm going to have to stop and get the dog out of here. Sorry guys. Okay, I finished my round 23, and now we're getting almost to the end. So for the next 2 rounds, excuse me, from rounds 24 to 26, you're just going to have 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So it's just 1 in every one, and then round 27 is the last one. So be patient, we're almost there. So go ahead for rounds 24 through 26. You're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So here I'm starting round 24, and then I'll do this round 24 through 26 with 1 single crochet all the way around. So go ahead and do your rounds 24 to 26, 1 single crochet in each stitch. Okay, I finished my 26th round. So now here we're working on our very last round, and you can just see how it's got its little shape like this. It's such a cute little, with a little ridge there. So here now for the last round, we're going to do a pattern similar to what we've been doing. On the first stitch, we're going to do 2 single crochets into the same stitch, and then after that we're going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. So that will be the pattern, your sequence that you'll go all the way around. So here in my first stitch, I'm going to put 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. I'm going to put my stitch marker there so I don't lose my place. And then here on each of the next 4 stitches, we're going to do 1 single crochet. So here's 1, the next one 2, next stitch 3, and then 4. So we're going to repeat that all the way around. When you get to the end, when you finish your last single crochet here, we're going to slip stitch into that first stitch, fasten it off, and leave a tail long enough so that you can weave it into your hat. So here, once again, I'm just going to repeat my pattern. 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. So here's 1, my next one, 2, 3, and 4. So go ahead and repeat that all the way around, and then we will come, when you get here to the end, we'll do the slip stitch, fasten off, and then we'll be all done. We'll just have to sew those in, and then we'll have our options for embellishing the hat. Okay, I finished my last stitch here, my last single crochet. So here I'm just going to slip stitch into my very first stitch there. Okay, I'm going to leave a tail long enough that it's easy to sew up. Oops, sorry. Oh, what did I do here? Hang on a second. This is single crochet, slip stitch through there. I'm going to pull this off and fasten off, and then this tail, I'm going to sew in my tail, and now you'll have that little ridge. So your little summer hat is done. And okay, everyone, our hat is done. So here all I just need to do is sew in my tail, and I really like the little design. This is for the little head, and then the little brim. This is perfect because it's really closely, it's all single crochet. I know it seems like a lot of work, but it goes pretty fast because it's a small item. And this is perfect because the little brim is not so exaggerated, so it's great for a little boy. And this one, like, you could put, if you want to leave it plain, leave it plain. You could embellish it with some flowers. This flower and leaves are all, tutorials are all on my channel. Just go to the playlist and it says flower and leaf projects. So here's one. If you like to have a bigger leaf, a bigger flower, you can use a different style flower, or there's several flowers I have there. And then about a week ago I uploaded a little bird, and this is for a little boy. Maybe you could just do a little bird. This one is a size G, so you might want to do a size F hook, E or F hook, so it could be smaller and fit here, or you can just do it like that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please be sure to subscribe and hit the like button. I want to ask you to help me grow my channel by sharing my videos with your friends and family. And I also want to remind everybody that I'm still collecting the hats and scarves for the children, the orphanages in Tijuana and in Chihuahua. So I hope you mail in those donations. Thanks so much. Have a great day, and remember, God loves you.